Hey guys, I'm Amaroth and let's speak about WMOs, their building, and what should their geometry look like. So the first thing, when you are starting, some sort of scale reference is always handy. So I've got my Hugo here, or in this case it is Tauran with scale 1.1, so I am quite sure that if this Tauran can fit into my doors, any player will be able to fit there. I've got my doors here as well because I will want to place door game objects in those buildings in game. So I've got them prepared here so I can make matching door frames. The second thing to consider is building some sort of Lego, some sort of components you will keep using over and over again. So I've got my windows here, I've got my door frames here in two sizes. One door frame is for bigger doors, so the second is for smaller doors, and so on. I've got my stairs here already built. So that's my recommendation. Prepare such components you will keep using over and over again. When you are building WMO itself, always keep your geometry separated. Separate your exterior and interior geometry. So as you can see, this roof is exterior part, and then here is ceiling, which is actually part of interior. So it isn't mixed. And this will make it very easy for me to divide this model into groups, into exterior and interior WMO group. When you take a look at those windows and door frames, they are all separated as well. You've got interior part of doors, exterior part of doors. You've got interior part of window and interior part of window and exterior part of window. They are divided. Speaking about windows and doors, every single part of geometry in WMO or WMO group is being separated from each other by entrances, and those entrances should have portal planes in them. So whenever you've got any sort of hole which player will be able to pass through, or any sort of hole which player will be able to see through, and there is either exterior or another room behind that, well, you need to place portal plane there. Portal plane has always 4 verticals, and it should be as close to edges, to border edges as possible. So what I've got here are only 4 edges, which makes it very simple for me to build portal plane here, and those edges are like this. So I will just place my portal plane between those 4 verticals here, like this. I will fit my portal plane here, and that will be done. So that's my recommendation. Building all doors and all windows and all holes and so on in that manner that you can easily divide them into rooms between those rooms, and that you can easily place portal plane there. When it comes to windows, I have tried to make these half-transparent windows work in-game, and it keeps getting buggy over and over again. I keep getting problems with them, so if you want to build such windows, my tip is just scrap this idea. Don't use such windows. Only build empty window frames. Create MTUs of half-transparent windows and insert those MTUs there in Dudet set or in-game by using JMogic or whatever else. But build those windows as MTUs. That's my recommendation. It is best to just create empty frame when it comes to WMO geometry. When it comes to interior, I will just hide some things to not get into the way. When it comes to interior, you can probably see that there are 2 levels, the bottom one and the top one, and they are actually divided into 2 rooms, every single one of them. So we've got 4 rooms. And as you can see from the geometry, I have divided it into faces in that manner that it is quite easy quite easy for me to divide that geometry into those rooms. So I've got one room here, and I've got my edges between them in wall, which is separating them. And this makes it very easy for me to separate those rooms from each other and to build every one room as separated object. When we are building WMO, you need to keep in mind that you will divide it into those rooms, into those groups, and you will have to have one object for exterior or multiple objects for exterior, but usually we would have just one. Then you will have one object for one room, the second object for the second room, and so on. So build your geometry in that way that it is easy for you to divide your model in such manner. Well, there is another thing which applies to MTUs as well. Every single face should be either quad face or triangle face, because you will get your model triangulated. So guys, nothing like this, please. Oh, I want to delete edges. Don't do anything like this, because while this has the same shape, well, for the first thing is that the textures don't curve with this shape, and the second thing is that when this gets triangulated, you can get some unpleasant results. Well, in this case, it has ended up quite reasonably, but you can get triangles going to one face, or to, sorry, not to one face, but to one vertical, and in that case, you would have quite nasty shadow box. So avoid building such geometry, and always try to keep all your faces triangulated or quadrated, so it is easy to triangulate the geometry. So these were my tips for WMOs. The last thing I would like to talk about are stairs. Whenever you are building stairs, this is the same as MTUs. Build any sort of ghost plane, any sort of ghost material, any sort of collision here, which simplifies this, so it is smooth. You got only smooth surface here, so player, when he is going over those stairs, won't just keep bumping over those stairs. And that's quite important, because when player is just bumping over those stairs like crazy, his camera is moving with him, and it's a really unpleasant effect. So try to keep only smooth collisions on your stairs, and on anything player will be able to step over. So these were my tips for building WMO geometry. I hope this was useful for you guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy modding.